When we're young, men with prestigious academic backgrounds and jobs at major corporations, or tall, handsome men who work for high-profile companies, are the ones who get all the attention. But as we go through life, everyone starts to catch on. Women begin to regret not holding on to a certain kind of man, and the type of man they start to admire is the one who gets better with age. He's a calm, composed, and confident adult. A truly good man's charm can't be measured by his title, income, or looks. It's something that only becomes more apparent the longer you're with him. Because of this, both men and women often make mistakes when they're young. So today, I'm going to introduce the characteristics of a truly good man, the one you should absolutely never let go of. If you're a man watching this, you can use this video to better yourself and form a wonderful connection. If you're a woman, this will help you recognize the kind of man who will truly make you happy and appreciate the wonderful people already in your life. 1. The humility that comes with not bragging about success. Many people mistakenly believe that the qualities of a popular guy and a good man are the same. This is a common misconception for both men and women, especially when we're young. We're drawn to men who are so confident they're almost arrogant. This type of male confidence feels like a strong pheromone, and women are easily attracted to it. Other men often look up to them and try to imitate their behavior. You've probably experienced this yourself. However, as you get older, you realize that this type of man isn't necessarily the one who can make a woman truly happy. In fact, overly confident men can have a dominant disposition, making you question whether they are suitable partners for a lifelong relationship. In a marriage, you need to share the burden of household chores, childcare, and work. When you're with a man who thinks, household chores and childcare are women's work, so I won't help, or it's a woman's job to serve her man, you'll eventually get tired of his self-important attitude. You might even find yourself thinking, why are you so arrogant? I'm not your slave. In a one-sided relationship, the love you once felt for your partner will fade as you become mentally and physically exhausted. This is why a truly good man doesn't try to dominate or lead you by force. Instead, he's humble and stands by your side as an equal partner. The kind of man who might get overlooked when he's young because he's too nice is often the one who is truly worthy of spending your life with. 2. A solid kindness versus a passive kindness. Some of you might be thinking, being a nice guy just doesn't feel right. Or, I'm told I'm a nice guy all the time, but I've never had a girlfriend. There's a big difference between passive kindness and a solid kindness. Even if both types of men are humble, sincere, and gentle, passive kindness comes from a desire to avoid being disliked, not from a sincere concern for the other person. For example, some men are yes men who say things like, whatever you want to do is fine with me, or I'll go wherever you want to go when you're deciding on a date spot. They don't realize that saying whatever is the most frustrating thing a woman can hear. And when you finally suggest something, it's even worse if they shoot it down with a, I don't really like that. In contrast, a man with a solid kindness doesn't just go with the flow, he shows respect and care for you. When you're deciding on a date spot, he might say, you mentioned wanting to go to a place the other day, and I'm interested in that too. How about we go there? He has the thoughtfulness to make a suggestion. Or if you're about to lend money to a stranger and get into trouble, he'll have the solid kindness to gently stop you, saying, let's think about this calmly. You might regret it later. Interestingly, this true kindness often reveals itself in small, subtle ways. For instance, he might naturally walk on the side of the sidewalk closest to the street to protect you. Or he might notice you're feeling down and ask, are you okay? Are you not feeling well? He subconsciously offers this kindness from the heart. The difference between a solid kindness and a passive kindness is as subtle as the difference between an iPhone 15 and an iPhone 6. It can be easy to miss. But a person who also has a solid kindness will recognize it in you. So, when a kind person like you meets someone with the same kind of kindness, it's a great sign. 3. The man who avoids what you don't like. Many men mistakenly focus on adding positives to a relationship, but in a long-term partnership, avoiding negatives is far more important. Of course, it's important to do things that your partner wants, like surprising her with a small gift. However, it's funny how women tend to evaluate a partner by subtracting negatives rather than adding positives. For example, a man might try to do something nice by cooking on his day off, only to have his partner say, "You made such a mess in the kitchen and gave me more work to do." In this case, instead of being a positive, it becomes a negative. When these small negatives accumulate, they become the seeds of resentment that can lead to a divorce later in life. A man who remembers the things his partner doesn't like, "Please stop leaving your socks on the floor," or "Please text me when you're going to be late," and makes an effort to avoid them is the kind of person who will make a woman never want to give up control of the TV remote, even if he's a dandy. Being sincere and keeping small promises might not make you a popular guy, but someone will always appreciate that quality in you. And that sincerity will make your relationship a long-lasting and happy one. 4. A self-sufficient man creates a more passionate relationship. A truly good man is often a man who doesn't need to be part of a group and can live happily on his own. He might be perfectly capable of doing his own cleaning and laundry and can live a comfortable life even without getting married. You might think, why would I choose a partner who can live on his own? But it's the opposite. It's because he's self-sufficient that he can be a great partner through all the ups and downs of life. When a relationship is still new and passionate, it's natural to want to support and serve your partner. But relationships can't stay passionate forever. When that passionate stage fades and you're several decades into your marriage, a man who asks, "Isn't dinner ready yet?" when you're feeling a little under the weather will make the love you have for him instantly disappear. It will be replaced with anger. Men who are not emotionally self-sufficient tend to expect their partner to become their mother. This might be fine during the dating stage, but what happens when you have an actual child? It's no joke to have to take care of one more child. A self-sufficient man, however, would say, "It's okay. I'll make dinner and do the dishes tonight," when you're not feeling well. He's also emotionally stable, so he won't take out his work or other frustrations on you. When you're feeling down, he will be there to support you. So, the man who seems gentle, doesn't really hang out with a crowd, and seems to be a little underwhelming at first glance is the man you should never let go of. 5. He listens and empathizes. Another common mistake men make is thinking they need to be a smooth talker with witty jokes to be popular. But a truly good man is better at listening than at talking. A good conversationalist is a good listener. When a woman is feeling down, she'd rather have a man who says, "What's wrong? I'm here to listen," and that must have been so difficult, than someone who tries to cheer her up with funny stories. A good man takes on the role of a listener, putting the other person in the spotlight rather than taking center stage himself. And honestly, some men might think, women's stories are so long and they never get to the point, so I don't find them interesting. But a truly good man would never look at his phone while listening to his partner's story with a bored expression. He's genuinely interested in her story, and he empathizes with her emotions, whether it's joy or sadness. If you're a woman, a man who listens to even your mundane stories and can enjoy a conversation with you is more valuable than a Louis Vuitton Capucine's bag, so you shouldn't let him go. On the other hand, if you're a man, this is great news. You don't need a collection of clever jokes. As long as you can be a good listener, you can become a good man. 6. He uses both logic and emotion. After hearing the last point, some women might think, it's so rude to think that my story are boring. So, why can't many men listen to women's stories with sincerity? The secret lies in the differences between the male and female brain. The male brain's left hemisphere is more dominant. so men tend to prefer logical conversations and problem solving. On the other hand, the female brain's right hemisphere is more dominant, so women tend to prefer empathy and emotional expression. This means that men focus on logic while women focus on emotion, which can lead to miscommunication. Have you ever been upset and just wanted a man to listen, only to have him give you unsolicited advice and frustrating solutions like, "Why don't you just do this?" Or men, have you ever been told, "I wasn't asking for advice"? Incredibly, studies have shown that women are twice as likely to feel anxiety as men. Women are wired to relieve that stress by talking things out. So, a man who can not only use logic but also empathize with a woman's emotions is the kind of man who can truly make a woman happy. Men who know these differences can learn to be more compassionate listeners, which will help them become better men. 7. He shows his love. Have you ever heard a woman say, "Do you really love me?" Or, "You haven't been treating me with care lately?" And men, have you ever been on the receiving end of those questions? It might sound strange, and you might think, "Of course I do. Why would you even ask that?" But remember, women are more prone to anxiety. They want to feel their partner's love every day, every moment. However, men tend to be shy and find it hard to express their feelings, even when they're desperately in love. But unspoken love doesn't get you anywhere, and a failure to verbalize your feelings can lead to tragic misunderstandings. A man who shows his love with words and, more importantly, with actions is a truly invaluable and dependable partner. In other words, men, you should fight through your shyness and praise your partner until she's embarrassed. Say things like, "You look so beautiful today," or "I'm so happy to be with you." Use both words and actions, like being thoughtful and keeping promises, to show your love, and you'll become a true gentleman who can make a woman happy. 8. He's sincere in all aspects of his life. A truly good man is sincere not only in his romantic relationships, but also in his work and friendships. Men who only think about being popular can drown in a flood of romantic dopamine, and they can get lost in quick fix techniques like 10 ways to make a woman crazy about you. This can make a man seem cool and popular at first, but in reality, he's just an empty, worthless man. And because these men have their brains focused only on romance, they are prone to cheating. On the other hand, a sincere man who works hard and builds a solid foundation for his life will not only be loyal, but will also be sincere and serious in his relationship with you. A man like this will also put his heart into things like childcare and household chores, and you can work together to overcome any problems that may arise. 9. He can show his vulnerability. A man who hides his vulnerabilities may not be the kind of partner who can make you happy. This is because such men tend to have high pride and are unable to admit their own mistakes. Everyone has flaws and makes mistakes, and that's especially true in a long-term relationship. In a relationship that is full of little problems, one of the most important things is to be able to sincerely apologize when you're in the wrong. For example, a man who can say, "I'm sorry for being so harsh yesterday," after a fight, or "I was wrong. I should have listened to you," after making a mistake on a big purchase, is a man who can respect you. When you're with a person like that, you can work together to build a better life. And it goes beyond that. A person who can't admit their own vulnerabilities can't accept others' weaknesses either. So when you make a mistake, this kind of man will attack you by saying, "See? I told you so. This wouldn't have happened if you'd listened to me." This is why a man who has the strength to admit his weaknesses and the compassion to accept yours is a better partner than a perfect man. With a man like this, you can both be your authentic selves and build a comfortable relationship where you can show your vulnerabilities to each other. That's it for the characteristics of a truly good man you should never let go of. But honestly, it would be almost impossible to find a person who meets all of these criteria. So, if you're a woman and you have someone in your life who meets even one of these characteristics, you're incredibly lucky. Please cherish the man in your life. He is your fated partner. And if you're a man who meets at least one of these characteristics, you're an amazing person. Even if you're not popular, the right person will see your worth and you will form a wonderful connection. I hope this video has helped you feel a little better about your relationships and about yourself. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. See you in the next video.